Hello, my beautiful Hershey Kisses. I just got through looking at a TikTok. And you know how on TikTok you can go live. So I was looking at this young female, and she was live, and she was crying because her face was all bruised up. You had to see what this man did to her face. It was disgusting. And she's on TikTok crying with hopes to have pity, and yet it was just so hard for me to feel any kind of sadness for her. One, from the way she was speaking just totally, you know, you want people to respect you. You have to watch how you speak, you have to watch how you carry yourself. So, of course, when she was speaking and crying with her face bruised, I mean, it was disgusting. And I'm sure she'll still go back to him. So that's why it's hard for me to really feel sorry for these women. And I don't want to hear all of this garbage about trauma bonding and all this nonsense, because we live in an age where you have more than enough help for women out here. And then you have a lot of women who manage to escape the situation. And guess what? They go right back out there signing up for another relationship, another situationship. Why? Because they love drama. They love being abused. And when you look at this female and you go on her chat on her TikTok channel and look at, oh my God, I was like, does she really think people are going to respect her? There's not a man on this planet. Women saying that they want a good man. There's no way that she was going to be getting or attracting a good man. And you know how we are in agreement that men, they don't understand anything except for consequences, and they understand punishment. Well, the same thing applied with a lot of these women. We probably have more women who are messed up in their head than we do men. Because these women, they keep signing up for this. So, of course, while I'm on her live, I'm trying to be compassionate. And I said, honey, why don't you just leave these men alone? You can't keep pretending like you're a victim when you're volunteering for this. Do you know what comes along with these men of today? Yes or no? Do you have access to the news, social media, YouTube? You are aware of what's going on in this generation, with better yet, this generation of men. And yet these women continuously, instead of focusing on their community, building up themselves spiritually, working with their children and staying, focused on making sure their children are going to be equipped to be out here in this world. And if you get lonely, that's what the sisterhood is all about. And I don't want to hear all of this nonsense, about sex and all of this, because that wears out. That grows thin, honey. That becomes boring after a while. And you have way too many things that you can do and use to take care of yourself in that area. And how many women have we heard? I don't know if you've heard, but I work as an advice coach, and I do a lot of research, and I listen to a lot of women internationally. And a lot of them are so hooked on his eggplant, but he got some good eggplant. But that eggplant was so good. So that eggplant is worth you taking lumps and knocks upside your head for something that you can manage to. There's way better substitutes for that. And you talk about, but I want somebody to hug up on me and I need to be touched. I need to be child. Go let your mother hug you. Let your sister hug you. Go find your sisters to hug you. How many of us have had our friends who was crying and we grabbed them and we hugged them and we comforted them? There's no eggplant in this world that's worth what that woman's face looked like. I think she was like maybe in her late 20s, early 30s, and she was, I think she was, I don't know, she was Caucasian, I think, or Hispanic. And her face is real light, so the bruises really showed up on her. and she looked terrible. And one side of her face was swollen, and she's on TikTok live doing one of the lives. I was like, this don't make no damn sense. You know, it's to the point where the court system, they don't care anymore because they're saying all these women have to do is leave these men alone. You have a lot of the women who are saying, why don't they punish these men? Why don't they beat these men? Why don't they, be harsh on these men? And the government is not going to do that. Why? Because it's just so simple. Leave them alone. That's all you have to do. Now, and I can see if they're raping women or they're forcing themselves, then that's a different story. I agree with you. They should be handled severely, but not when women are volunteering and they are doing this themselves. They keep being a chicken, like I keep saying, pecking around, looking for drama, looking for abuse. And then when they find it, they're ready to cry and talk about, I can't believe that someone who says they love you can do this to you. What? So now I have to think about, what is her mental health? Is she nuts? Because I think the only women out here today, to be honest with you, this is between you and me, my beautiful, beautiful diamonds. The only women now who are still out here looking for a man, these women have got to have some really severe mental and emotional issues. Something's wrong with them. You have a family. You have fathers, mothers, brothers, cousins, sisters, whatever, even children. You want to talk about how they're toxic and how no good your parents are, but yet you're willing to you had to see this woman. I wonder if your parents ever did that to you. Then you got the women sitting up here with these dudes who come in the house drunk from alcohol. Other dudes coming and smelling just like a woman's vagina. Is that not toxic? Is that not abusive? And yet you have no problem whatsoever looking the other way. Let it be one of your family members, your blood, your flesh and your blood behave this way, and you will be ready to nail them to the cross or the torture stake, whichever one you choose to believe. And it just don't make no sense. So after seeing this female's face, I am convinced that these women who are still sleepwalking and who refuse, listen to me when I tell you, they refuse to wake up. Don't tell me that you're staying hopeful. There's such a thing called false hope. Put your energy, your time, your hope in building up your community with women supporting women, women looking out for women, women taking care of women. Let these men go at it. Let them kill each other. Let them just destroy each other, because that's pretty much what they're good for. Destroy, tear down, ruin. They're not about building anything up. They're not about anything being beautiful. They're filled with so much hate and rage. And a lot of the times it's because they have such a high body count, where they have slept with so many different people, so many women. They're sleeping with men and women. And they have all of these sexually transmitted demons inside of them. Soul ties. They got all these different demonic spirits inside of them. And that's why these men are wilding out like they are. And women want to still continue to say, but I can't be happy unless I have a man. Well, okay, baby. Well, you better be prepared with what comes along with having these men of today. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle. And again, here we go. Ding, 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 ding. That means wake up.